You've been working on the album for 6 years.
Right.
It's finally out. In those 6 years, I've seen you heavily lecturing.
Yes.
It looked like it started out small and then it got a following where you're lecturing every week.
Yeah, 2-3 times a week.
2-3 times a week.
Bro, I did. They said it was 300,000. I always say 200,000. I did the biggest Martin Luther King march. And I was the keynote speaker in front of over 200,000 people. My lectures are, depending on how big the room is anywhere from 350 to 1,500 people every time I speak. And it's amazing because I've gone to some places, bro, and it's bigger than some people's shows, you know, and that's why I'm so fortunate, bro, and I'm grateful because they even brought me back to Jackson, Mississippi, where I'm from, and I spoke in a Baptist church. I'm in a Baptist church telling black people that they are gods. Come on, man, in the Bible Belt. I'm so fortunate, bro. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, and it's funny, Raheem Devon, who's on this album 2 times, he told my vice president, Jasmine, he said, a lot of people are looking at Banner, you know, and I told people that, you know, when I believe, my personal opinion, is the reason why people were mad at LeBron James when he first went to Miami was because 3 black men got into a room without any agents, without any managers, and they made a unilateral decision. If they would have won the championship that first year, imagine what all of the young black men would have started doing. And that's what they were really afraid of. It's no different with me to have paid for everything on this album, you know, and to have the support from our people for it to look better than, regardless of whether it's major or whether it's global or whatever it may end up being. I said, man, I wanted everything that I do to look clean and sleek. You know, I'm gonna be very honest with you. When I look at how Apple, especially when it comes to computers, I watch how clean their stuff is. And that's how I always told people, if I'm going to compete, I'm going to compete not in a bad way. I'm not competing with artists. I want to compete with a Fortune 500 company. And like even what you said about these boxes, that's what I want people, whether it's the garnish inside, whether it's the font, whether it's the color. You know, I paid extra to have, you know, all of the art. The God box is also an art exhibit. You know, every song has a physical depiction that goes along with it. And hopefully we're working on it right now to have the unveiling of the art exhibit at Art Basel in Miami. Oh, wow. You know, so imagine how much I had to pay for a 17 page booklet that slides inside of the, I bet a lot of people who had an album don't even know that that's in there. But man, I just want our people to be proud, man. You know, and for when you look, this is how you know if a person is really running a business. It's not just the logo, but when you look at the fine print and it says a Banner Vision, distributed by Empire Distribution, like that's dope. That's ownership. You know, so for me, just to be able to touch this, for, you know, so many artists, I remember when I was on Universal, I used to have all these space age ideas and it would never come into fruition. And I thought it just wasn't possible. Shit. Here it go right here, baby. But ain't nobody gonna do it but you. And I want to show people all over the world that if I can do it, I'm from Mississippi, you damn sure can do it.
Now my question to you is, are we gonna see you perform?
Yes. Yes.
I've seen you lecture so many times in the last 6 years.
Yes. I'll tell you something, bro. and I've never told anybody else, man. I was sort of contemplating not performing. One reason is because my show was so, I don't know, you seen me perform before, bro?
Of course.
Like, you know what I do a black rock, well, I do a rock show. Like, I stage dive and backflips and
Shirt is off.
Yeah. That's not me anymore.
Right.
So I'm more meditative. I guess that's the reason why this album is so lyrical. I'm a different person, but I was asking one of my friends, like, but that's what I'm used to. Like, that's like my expression. But I think part of that back then too was lightweight fear too. Just throwing myself into the moment instead of being afraid. Just throwing myself, and I'm not afraid anymore. So I didn't know how to. I don't know what it's gonna look like, because this person that y'all meeting now. And I don't mean from a conscious perspective, because I've been conscious. So all the motherfuckers that saying, Dave Banner just got knowledge of self 2 days ago, that's a fucking lie. But me being meditative and finding meditation and centering myself and going inward is something new. So I'm a new person. So I'm adjusting to this person just like y'all adjusting to him. You feel what I'm saying? So I just didn't know what that looked like. But let me tell you the other problem is I'm a CEO of 3 businesses. So me being out on the road, you remember how I used to tour? I used to tour 4 or 5 days a week. It wasn't too many rappers out here, maybe with the exception of like Talib, that was touring like I was touring. Like I was on a plane 5 days a week, real live. And we would go from like on tour with on tour with 50, straight on tour with Luda, then our own spot dates. And, but I was so flustered, bro. And although I was making a lot of money, I wasn't making no major moves. Bro, when I'm sitting down there in my office, bro, I'm just being honest with you, I make more in a week with my multimedia company, when we own it, than I would 7 months touring with a #1 record, selling 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, making one move, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, although I want to be out there, although I want to be with the fans, the effect that I can have for my people overall, it's sort of like, I'm 2 people at the same time. It's almost like being, puffing big at the same time. So it's like both sides are pulling at me. So what I think I'm gonna do 2 shows a week. 2 shows a week, unless I'm on a major tour or something, 2 shows a week. And at first, I was gonna do this big grand lights and 3D slaves coming out of the ground to avenge their people. And I'm still going to do that. But I saw Vince Staples, and I had an opportunity, to watch J. Cole. And, I remember how Common used to do it. It's going to take me so long to put that together, especially from a financial standpoint, that I will miss this window when people are the most emotional about the album. So I decided I'm just gonna get me a DJ, and what I think I'm gonna do, bro, is I don't know if anybody's ever done this before, but I'm gonna start just like the album started, from #1, the same way you read the track listing, because that's how dope I think this album is. I'm gonna perform the album the way that it is on the CD, and so yeah.
So people will be able to see you perform.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It's in my plan, brother.